telepathic communication and beyond is real. Now, frequencies, vibration, and signals is what I'm about to talk about. Frequencies is a repeated event. It's a wave, a pattern, right? It measures the repetition of people, places, and things, all of creation in our time, in our dimension. Vibration is the back and forth movement. Signal is the information, the message. Now, we're going to use the radio as an example real quick. Let's say I'm playing 92.3 The Beat and it's broadcasting. All the other AM and FM stations are still broadcasting. They're still sending off signals, frequencies, and vibrations. Right? So all you got to do is turn the knob, change the station on whatever, whether it's emotional, physically, psychologically, spiritually, consciously, whatever. You just unconsciously, you just turning the knob on something. Awareness, unawareness, mix and blend it, however you see fit. So you get out of any equation with this. Not just mind states and emotional states and conscious states, but you can get out of any equation like this. And we're going to use, like if I tell you you only use 5 people, only use 10% of their brain, right? Different, I really don't believe that. I believe we use the whole brain. It's just time, moment, circumstances. And with the time, moment, circumstances in our time, in our dimension, may determine the different numbers of the different section of the brain that has certain functions that affect you mentally, physically, and spiritually. So it may change on you. Right now, you vibrating using 10% consciously as you think about working on whatever it is you're concentrating on. The other parts of your brain, the numbers may go up and down depending on what you're doing, whether it's your logic, creativity, your emotional state, whatever. And as you keep functioning, second within second, doing whatever it is you're doing, whatever you're experiencing, it may change. So I don't believe we use 10% of our brain. I believe we're using 100% of our brain. It's just the time on surface and our time in dimension may switch it. So that's that on that as another example. Now let's use like. We're going to use this as, if I tell you people that like you, they'll do a lot for you. But they can love you and do nothing for you because they don't like you. But when they like and love you, they give you the world. But let's say they don't like you and or love you and still do for you or not, right? So it can be look at it as layered. It can be the same frequency, vibrating on the same wavelength. We can look at it that way, or we can look at it as being layered 4 different frequencies that's being broadcast, or 5, or unlimited amount. For each individual, it may change. Time on circumstance in our time, in our dimensions. So that's another example. Now you can go crazy with every example that you can think of. Feel, taste, smell. Use your 6 senses too. Like what the Buddha taught, I learned that there's different type of consciousness. Use your 6 senses, but you become conscious of taste when it's time to taste, sight when it's time to see, smell when it's time to smell, hear when it's time to hear. You get the point. Your intuition when you feel certain things that don't feel right or do or don't, mix and blend all that. Now, the reason I brought that up is because what the Bible really teaches, I learned this in jail. I was reading a book and it says the mind, body, spirit, soul. Your soul is your lifestyle. Your soul is your lifestyle. You have your body with your organs and hair and your DNA and RNA and all that stuff. Nature Boy and Bruce Lipton talk about, right? So you have all that going on with your DNA biology, right? Now, you have your soul is your lifestyle. You got your body. You got your different levels of your mind. You got unconscious, conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. Now, I learned from the Bible, but I didn't catch on until I read what the Buddha teach too. It was a Buddha book, if I remember, that's the name of it. And he was talking about how everybody and everything is connected. So I already knew that part. And plus, reading the Bible 3 times, it talk about all of us being one body in Christ. So I understood that. I didn't understand it until I read the Buddha concept, the Buddha theory of relativity. So what Nature Boy taught me was the word superconscious. And superconscious is basically the same thing. Your connection to everybody and everything is saying the same thing. So he taught me the different level of the consciousness. But it's the same thing as what the Buddha teaches as far as your connection to everybody and everything. So I was aware of the concept. So you got your mind, Your body, your different levels of consciousness, or your different consciousness, dealing with your senses and all that type of stuff. You got your body, with your DNA, RNA, your cells, your hair, you get the point, your blood, your skeletons and all that, your human anatomy. You have your soul is your lifestyle, and your spirit is the energy animating your body. Negative and positive, positive and negative, negative and positive, positive, however it switch for you, time on time in dimensions. So you have that as an example. And I learned that as far as that and what the Bible really teaches. It says imagine the body is the radio, and then you plug it into the wall. The electricity is the signal, basically. And the radio, you can say that's the lifestyle, listening to the music, however it's affecting people, places, and things, all the creation or not. But you get the point. And then you have the body, you have the mind of it, as far as the things within the radio that makes it function. Or you can look at it as the music actually being the mind and how it affects you. But the body being the body, the soul being has a lifestyle. It's a radio. And then the spirit is the energy that animates it, the electricity. All right. So that's that. That's what the Bible really teaches. Jehovah's Witnesses taught me that, mix and blend that with everything. Then you have David Icke. He taught me about MK Ultra mind control, programming of the mind. I even think he mentioned reprogramming the mind. If not, then Nature Boy talked about reprogramming the mind. I caught on. But David Icke talk about reprogramming of the mind. So in MK Ultra mind control, which is repetition, blackmail, force, and signs and symbols, I believe. But I think anything could be MK Ultra mind control. It don't have to be that color, smell, anything. A look, being reactionary when nigga look at you and you be like, what you looking at, nigga? And woo, that could be MK Ultra mind control as you try to live up to your reputation and feel like it's the principle of being respected. You get what I'm trying to say? So that could be MK Ultra mind control. Anything can be MK Ultra mind control. So now I came up with my own example after coming across David Icke and what the Bible teaches, what the Buddha teaches, and it made me think of going to engineering school. When I was going to engineering school in 2010 to 12, LA Film School, LA Recording, and they talk about frequencies, vibrations, and signals, and I start calling the motherboard the body, the signals that's basically going through the matrix and the different sections, the different channel strips. You know what I'm saying? That's the electricity, the energy, the message that's going through it. Then, you know what I'm talking about? So it's the same thing. And the frequency is basically the repeated pattern. So that's how I talked about that. Came up with my own example. Then I ran across Sadhguru. He talked about inner engineering. Sadhguru. He talked about inner engineering. And I came up with inner, outer, inner, outer. But in body language, he probably was saying that probably beat me to the punch, but my mind went there. And that was that before I seen him beat me to the punch, and I came up with it as, but I was running around first calling us engineers, and then I turned around, ran across his document with inner engineering. Then we have Nature Boy talk about programming of the mind and all that type of stuff too. And then Nature Boy put a nigga up on game about Bruce Lipton. He talk about programming of the mind and biology. But I can't forget about the books like Unlimited Power, talk about neuro-linguistic programming, where you move your body a certain way, have certain thoughts, certain emotions that create certain mind states. I read that in like 2002. One of the homies gave me the book. And then Think and Grow Rich, I read that in like 2004, 2005. It talks about programming the subconscious right there too to get certain results to manifest. Now you got to realize everything's vibrating at a certain frequency, sending off signals. Even non-vibration is a frequency, a dimension, a signal. Quietness is a frequency, a vibration, a signal. Sometimes quiet, sometimes not, all the time loud, all the time not loud. You see it's layered, or you can put it all on the same frequency wavelength and play with it like that and change the station. You can stay on topic, you can look at it layered, you can stay on topic, but you can change the station. And at this time it's happening, this moment, this circumstance is or isn't, and yada, yada, yada. So that's my thoughts for now on frequencies, vibration, and signals. Am I missing anything? Let me see. So you know how to get out of all equations or observe all equations with this concept. I don't care what it is. Remember the frequency, is the pattern and repetition. The vibration is the back and forth movement, but non-movement is a frequency, and even if it's not moving, it's still a vibration of non-movement. You can look at it that way. And the signal is the message. So you get the point. Because it may not be going back and forth as far as vibration. It's still vibration, though. Something there. All right, now happy birthday, little sis. But that's my thoughts today on that.